Are you new to plant-based meal prep and you need some ideas? This video is for you. Welcome to our meal prep video. Today we are going to be making a few items that are really easy to make. Of course, they are plant-based. We are a family of 7. We have 5 kiddos and we are all plant-based, from my husband and I to the kids down to our 5-year-old. This is actually not coffee. This is a dandy blend that I like to drink. It was introduced to me by Trey. I am a very big coffee drinker, or I used to be a big coffee drinker. This actually really resembles coffee, but it's not coffee. It's dandelion root and chicory. I can link it in the description. There is no caffeine in it. It's just a great coffee substitute if you're looking for a coffee substitute, or if you're just looking to drink less coffee this year. But yeah, it's so good. Aprons on, let's go. I have a list of items here that I want to make. This is sort of a guide of the things that I thought about last night that I really want to make. I have some rice and beans and bread and breakfast items, things like that. It's very, very simple. I have already soaked some lentils here. This is just red lentils, and then I pre-soaked some black beans, which I want to cook from scratch as well. We're going to start off on some items that take the longest to cook, like the beans. We need to get that onto the stove to sort of soften up. We used to have an Instant Pot, but we don't anymore. It kind of broke. Yeah, we're going to just cook it in a pot. Let us know in the comments if you like to cook in your Instant Pot, or if you have an Instant Pot, or you're just old school like us and you just cook everything in a pot. I'm starting with our black beans. We're going to put this in a pot, boil it up, let that simmer until it is nice and soft in the background. I'm also going to start a couple of yeast doughs to make some bread for later. For all of our baked goods, we are going to use freshly milled spelt flour. Now, we buy the berries on Amazon in bulk, and then we just blend it in our blend tech. We used to have a NutriMill to blend up all of our flour, but now it broke, and so now we're just using our blend tech. It is the best blender ever. We use it daily, multiple times a day, and we've not had issues. Once the yeast is nice and bloomed, we're just adding some oil, salt, and our freshly milled spelt flour. Baking with freshly milled flour is a little bit different than the regular store-bought. Even if you bought like the whole wheat or unbleached, it is totally different. It does act differently, so if you are looking into making anything with freshly milled flour, just keep in mind that it's a little bit different. If you would love a video on how to cook or bake with freshly milled flour, let me know in the comments. Now, once the dough is mixed and kneaded, we're going to roll the dough in some oil, cover it, put it in a warm spot to prove. We have some potatoes here. We're going to make sort of a roasted hash out of peppers, onions, and things like that. And then we have some cauliflower here, which we're going to make a gratin sauce, or like a creamy sauce that is really purposeful. But we're actually going to make a broccoli non-cheddar rice bake, because it's going to be, of course, plant-based. I know this bake is very, very popular amongst the freezer meal community, so I wanted to give it a shot, but make it a vegan or plant-based option. Drained and strained, strained and drained, strained and rinsed our lentils here, which I have. And then we're going to make a red sauce really quick out of onions, celery, carrots, which is a mirepoix. We're going to add some lentils to it, some crushed tomatoes, and make a really nice sauce, which needs to be cooking for a while. So let me get that started before I bake anything. You know, while I'm cutting carrots, I may as well just chop some more up to prep. So I'm just going to put it into a little container here. I'm just going to prep another batch of mirepoix so I can use it during the week. And that way, the bulk chopping is basically done. Carrots, celery, and onion. It's so easy to just chop extra and then just put it into a little container here and save it for later. Of course, if you don't have a Tupperware like this, you can always just use Ziploc bags. You can even freeze it. Just cut a bunch of mirepoix, put it in here, freeze it, and you can use it throughout the week or month if you want to do that much of a bulk. Or if you're just chopping a bunch and you only are feeding yourself, you don't need to use that much. Just freeze it and you're good to go. In this pot here, I just have the onions, carrots, and celery. I have some grapeseed oil, added some salt. We're going to now just season it up a little bit with some Italian seasonings. You can use oregano if you like, or if you have like fresh ground thyme and oregano, something delicious like that, go ahead and add it. I also have some sage, which I want to use up. We might as well just put it in here. I got a little box here on clearance for $1.12. So of course I'm gonna use some. Ugh, it smells lovely. Marcy, are you eating again? You eating peppers? Now I'm going to add some lentils and some water because we need some water for the lentils to cook in. I'm also adding 2 cans of crushed tomatoes. The lentils, when you cook with lentils, especially when you're cooking it from dry, like it's the uncooked bean, you want to make sure that you're adding enough water into your sauce because it does absorb a lot of the liquid. And so you want to make sure that you give it an abundance of liquid, just a little bit, because otherwise it's going to burn and it's gonna just run out of liquid. The sauce is pretty much looking really, really good right now. All it has to do now is just simmer for a little bit and then it is ready to go for some lasagnas. I'm just gonna check on the bread dough really quick. You can see, this is what it looks like. It has definitely rose. And so I'm just gonna do a few little stretch and folds. I wanna build that gluten. So I'm just going to kind of knead it. And then we're going to do it again on the next one. Good job, Mercy. So now we're just going to season this, add some oil, add some onion powder, add some Italian seasoning, smoked paprika. You can use any seasonings you like. This is just what we love to use. We're going to put it in a pan and bake it at 425 convection.
Mama, are you eating something?
No. Did I ever tell you guys? Cauliflower is my favorite vegetable to eat raw. It's so good. Let me know in the comments what your favorite vegetable is to eat raw. Trey says that there's no flavor cauliflower. There is flavor. It's so good. So in here, we've got some cauliflower and we've got some cashews. We're going to make a cheesy sauce. It's sort of like the bechamel. It's a plant-based bechamel that we make for layering our lasagna. And it's just made of cashews and cauliflower. Very, very simple. Why are you eating everything? So we're gonna put some water into this. We're gonna boil it up. And then once the sauces are ready, we're going to be ready for the lasagna. We've also got some greens here. It's just a mixture of collard greens and Swiss chard. We're going to chop it up into pieces sort of like this, maybe an inch or maybe even smaller if you want. We're going to put it in a Ziploc just so it's ready for making greens during the week or whenever we need some greens. So here, Mercy, put them in here, okay? I am chopping up some red potatoes and I'm going to marinate it in a Ziploc bag, getting it ready to roast. What did you just eat now? There's more, right? Yeah. So roast during the week. I can use that. Or you can eat it. Okay, Mercy.
I feel more.
While Mercy is working on the greens, I have pre-chopped and seasoned some potatoes for roasting later as well. I'm also preparing a gratin sauce, which is just boiled cauliflower, and we'll season it later.
Mercy, what's your favorite vegetable to eat raw?
Cauliflower.
That's my favorite, Murdy. I just took out the potatoes that have been roasting for about 30 minutes on 425 degrees Fahrenheit on convection. Convection is usually the setting that makes the air kind of circulate better and it's faster. And this is ready. Ready for breakfast, ready for a side for anything. I'm gonna let this cool a little bit and then we're gonna just put this in like a Tupperware and then it's ready to seal up and put in the fridge. What are you doing, Mercy? I can't take you serious, Mercy. How are we supposed to cook like this? So for the gratin, we're just going to blend up this boiled up cauliflower. We salted it, add some seasonings if you want to, and then we're going to put it on here and then bake it in the oven. And then we're just going to bake it in the oven, okay? We are now going to form our bread into loaves. So we're going to have just a regular loaf and we're going to have a cinnamony type of loaf. I'm going to really quickly brush these loaf pans with some grapeseed oil so it doesn't stick. These are the best bread loaves. If you are in the market for a bread loaf, I mean, seriously, these ones are really, really, really good, and they last a long time and they don't stick.
In a bowl, I'm adding some coconut sugar, some cinnamon, agave syrup to make a cinnamony filling for the dough.
So I'm gonna add a little bit more oil and a little bit more of that agave.
Cut it in half, Mom.
Spread it as much as possible.
I'll spread it out with my hands.
No.
Yeah. It feels like weird.
That's why I just spread it with a spoon, Mercy. I'm basically making a cinnamon roll, but in a loaf. I wanted to try out this theory. Now we're gonna roll it, Mercy. You want cinnamon rolls? I was thinking maybe we could just cut it. We'll just cut it.
Initially, my idea was to make a cinnamon swirl bread, but everyone was asking for cinnamon rolls.
This is a little bit of a fail because I don't have enough. Maybe we'll just have to put it in a tart.
We ended up transferring all of the rolls into a pie dish.
This is what it's looking like. We're going to add just a touch of cinnamon. I mean, coconut sugar. I'm just gonna let this rise just a little bit more, and then we're going to bake this.
For this loaf, I added some sesame seeds, sunflower seeds, and pumpkin seeds.
I have worked it all in here. Look at that. It's beautiful. We're just going to roll it into a tight ball.
We oiled the top of the loaves and we're going to let it sit until it is nice and puffy, ready to bake. We're going to bake them at 375 for about 30 to 45 minutes. We also took out the gratin, which is perfect, and the bolognese sauce is ready to go for the lasagna. Now it's time to make the bechamel sauce, which is basically our cashews and cauliflower. We blended it up with some nutritional yeast, some salt, onion powder, and we also dropped the lasagna sheets. We're setting up our lasagna station and we are ready to go.
We are set up for our lasagna station, and then while we are doing that, I'm also going to use the cheesy sauce for our rice casserole bake. Stop it! Babe! So let's make the lasagna. You're going to make the lasagna. I'm going to make the rice and broccoli and rice bake. I think what we'll do is we'll put everything into a bowl, and then I'll mix everything in, and then we'll put it into the casserole dish, because I know I'm going to make a mess.
I did end up watering down that bechamel sauce so that way we can thin it a little bit for the broccoli rice cheddar bake. I added some peas, some broccoli, and mixed it all up.
Now this rice is looking a little bland, so we're going to just add a little bit of seasoning. So here, Isaiah, we have some smoked paprika, some Italian. Let's see. Can I see for a second? This is not the recipe.
Producer, I don't want to make a mess. Ooh, nice and juicy.
Did you spill?
No, I almost did. I thought I did. Okay, wait. I made a gleek though.
You made a what?
A gleek.
A gleek?
Yeah.
You gleeked on it?
No, look. A gleek drip. You thought I gleeked on it? I don't even know how to gleek.
Yeah. Perfect. Good job, Isaiah. It looks so good. I didn't forget about my black beans. I have it here. And now I'm going to make sort of an oniony, gingery type of base because I want it kind of Asian-y. This is the first time I'm going to make this. I think it's going to be really good. Have some garlic here. You can use however. Whoa. You can use as much garlic as you want. Don't forget, garlic is a blood thinner. Just be careful if you have any blood issues, you know, stuff like that. you can see here, is infusing with onions and garlic and ginger. I'm gonna add some star anise. I really wanted to start earlier, but this time change is kicking my butt. And honestly, I don't even know why we do it, because it doesn't even exist in like Taiwan or any other country, really. And it doesn't even exist in all the states here anyway. Oh, I love star anise. If you've never tried star anise, this is what it looks like. It's like a little star shape sort of spice. It's very anisey and so good. I'm gonna use like 2 pieces, some fennel, some 5 spice powder. You can taste some.
I can eat it.
I don't suggest you do, Isaiah. I'm gonna add some coconut aminos. This is a very good substitute for soy sauce if you don't like to eat soy. It is a little bit sweet, so just keep that in mind. I put about 2-3 tablespoons in here. We're gonna sort of stew this. So that's gonna go in the back burner. Let it just simmer slowly and gently. It's gonna be so delicious. Our lasagna is out. Look how beautiful. Now, the kids decided they wanted to eat it for lunch, so we're gonna dig in instead of make it for meal prep. Now, the last time we made an enchilada bake, it was a hit. And we started off with making our own enchilada sauce. So we're just gonna make a very simple one today, again, so I can show it to you. We buy a lot of stuff in bulk, so that's why I have a huge thing of grapeseed oil, which usually I will divvy into a little bottle. I have the link, if you are interested in this, of course, in the description to make your life easier.
We are toasting up a bunch of spices in this oil. Here's just some cumin, oregano, onion powder, ancho chili powder. Add some tomato paste and toast it as well, and then just add some water. To make life easy, we're going to layer this instead of roll them up. So we have some tortillas, we have some beans. Layer the sauce and rinse and repeat.
It's all done. We're going to cover it up and we're going to bake it whenever we need some quick, easy meals. This is phase 1 only of meal prep. I plan on baking a few items. I wanted to bake some scones, possibly some breakfast cookies. We will continue to do that in a little bit. Phase 2 of our meal prep. We took a little bit of a break and did some things, did a few meetings, work, stuff like that. And then now we are doing our second phase. We're making some baked goods. So Mercy, this is all in theory. I don't have a recipe. However, if the recipe does work, I will post it in the description so you can make it for you, yourself, and your family. We have Mercy
Chopping up some
chopping nuts while I snack.
Mama is snacking. We're all snacking more.
In a large mixing bowl, I am adding some applesauce, some vanilla extract. We're adding some almond butter as well. Then we're adding some freshly milled spelt flour. I also wanted to add some healthier components such as nuts. You can also add some chocolate chips if you want, and I also added some oats. We're baking this up at 375 for about 10-15 minutes. Now we're working on a very simple breakfast scone recipe. We're also adding kind of the same ingredients. We just added some nuts and some chocolate chips. Scones are actually so easy to make. There's no kneading involved. Just pile the ingredients into a bowl. Don't overwork it. We're going to punch some biscuit shapes and then we're going to bake it in the oven as well. You can make this plain or you can add some sweet components to this. Serve it up with some plant-based butter or just eat it as is and it'll be nice and delicious for breakfast. We loved how these turned out. Look at the layers here. We are going to include the ingredients down below if you want to make it yourself. The last thing we're going to make is a baked oatmeal. We're going to make 2 pans of them. It's going to be so simple and so easy. We're just going to dump some ingredients in. It's really, you don't really need to measure at all. But generally, this is the idea. To make 2 pans, we're going to add 6 cups of oats, 2 cups of coconut sugar, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 2 tablespoons of cinnamon, 1 tablespoon of clove, and add your add-ins. Then we're going to add in 1 can of pumpkin puree, 2 cans of coconut milk, and mix it all up. I hope you can see this mix.
It's slowly coming together. You just have to make sure it's all incorporated nicely and well. But see, it's a little bit thick. I like it a little bit more custardy. So I think I'm just gonna add half a can of water first. Remember, when you're cooking this, it's going to absorb so much. So, you know, it's totally up to you. You can make this a few times and adjust it to your taste buds. But really, you're the boss of your own food, so just do whatever you think is right. I am down on my knees. I can't take it anymore. Just tear it. Oh, one more thing I forgot to add is about a tablespoon or so of apple cider vinegar. Is just to help it rise a little bit. I find that you don't have to, you can use baking powder, but I prefer to use baking soda and a little bit of apple cider vinegar. I don't understand.
The chocolate is the best of it.
Oh yeah. Why we can't be lovers. Things are getting out of hand. Are you eating some more? Take it anymore. Just tearing up my heart when I'm with you. Mine, I like it like this, like sort of jiggly wiggly. And then we're gonna bake this at 375 for about 45 minutes, an hour roughly. And then it's gonna be delicious and beautiful. Let's put this in the oven. Whew. I've been cooking basically all day, kind of. I'm a little bit tired, I have to say, but we got a lot done. It has been a whole day, almost. I did take a break in the afternoon and did other things, but it took a little bit today. You know what? It seems like every time I watch meal prep videos, like the non-plant-based families, it's a little bit easier for you guys because meat just seems like it's easier to cook and you don't have to chop as much vegetables. On the other hand, for us, we chop a lot of vegetables when we are meal prepping plant-based. That's okay. We are really doing a lot of great goodness for our bodies. And this is our spread, you guys. We have 2 casseroles, 2 baked oatmeals, we have cinnamon rolls, bread, scones, breakfast cookies, we got some prepped vegetables here, potatoes, we have enchilada bake, and of course 1 pan of lasagna, which the kids already ate for lunch. Yeah. Oh, and some beans as well. Yeah, I hope you guys were inspired to meal prep, and I hope you guys enjoy eating well, eat healthy, live well, do good for your body and your families as well. Alrighty, if you are new here, we would love for you to join us, so subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you on the next video.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.